Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on how the world's biggest websites seem to know exactly what you want, almost before you do. It's a powerful machine learning technique called online learning, and it's happening all around us, adapting to every single click you make.
So, you ever wonder how that shopping site or your news feed just gets you? How it adjusts to your tastes almost instantly? Well, it's not magic. It's a very specific kind of algorithm, one that's built for a world that never, ever stops creating new data.
And this really gets to the heart of the challenge. I mean, we're talking about a virtual tsunami of information. Every search, every click, every single purchase from millions and millions of people, it all adds up to this unending river of data. The old ways of doing machine learning just can't keep pace. So how do you even begin to handle a constant stream like that? Well, let's make this real. We're going to walk through a simple, everyday example to see exactly how this works out in the wild.
Okay, so imagine you're running a shipping website. A customer shows up, they want to send a package, simple enough. You offer them a price. Now they either take it or they don't. For the algorithm, that's just a simple yes or no, or, in data speak, a 1 or a 0. But here's the magic, right there in step 4. The algorithm learns from that one single decision. It makes a tiny little adjustment, and then it's immediately ready for the very next customer.
And this is that repeat forever loop in action. Now, that formula might look a little intimidating, but don't worry about the math. The idea behind it is actually really simple. It's just a recipe for making a small correction. With every single user, the model tweaks its understanding of what makes a good price. It gets just a little bit smarter, and then, and this is the key part, it completely discards that user's data and just moves on. It doesn't need to remember everything, it just needs to keep learning forever.
Okay, so we've seen this learning on the fly thing in practice. Now, let's zoom out a little bit and give this whole process its official name and see what it's really all about. So, what we've been talking about is called online learning. And unlike a lot of other methods that need a big, complete, static data set to even get started, an online algorithm is built for a world that's always in motion. It learns from that continuous flow, one tiny piece of information at a time.
And this table just lays out the difference so clearly. Traditional learning, which is sometimes called batch learning, that's kind of like studying for a final exam using one textbook. You read the whole thing, you learn from it, and then you're done. Online learning, that's more like having a conversation that never ends. You learn from each sentence, you adapt what you're thinking, and you're always ready for what comes next. The model is never really finished, it's just constantly evolving.
All right, let's take this idea and apply it to something we've all done a million times. Searching for a product on a big e-commerce site.
So here's the puzzle, right? A customer comes to your site and they search for something pretty specific. Now, let's say your store has 100 different phones that could be a good match, but you only have room to show 10 results on that first page. So, how do you pick the right 10? The 10 that this one specific user is most likely to click on?
Well, the secret lies in a little metric called click-through rate, or CTR. It sounds technical, but it's just a fancy way of measuring the chances that someone will actually click on a link you show them. The whole goal of the learning algorithm is to get ridiculously good at predicting the CTR for every single product, for every user, and for every search query.
And this is how it all connects. The system basically predicts the click-through rate for all 100 of those phones in an instant, and then it just shows you the top 10. And every single time a user either clicks or doesn't click on those results, the system gets another fresh piece of data. It uses that to get just a little bit better for the very next person who comes along.
So it's obviously a really efficient way to handle just mind-boggling amounts of data. But the real game changer here isn't just about the speed or the scale. It's about something way more powerful.
This quote right here, this is the whole story. The true power isn't just about learning what we want right now. It's about the system's ability to adapt when what we want starts to change.
And that is what makes online learning so incredibly powerful. First, it can handle a practically infinite amount of data because it just deals with it one piece at a time. But more importantly, it lets a website stay relevant. If all of a sudden users become more price sensitive because of the economy, or some new trend makes a certain product explode in popularity, the model just naturally adapts. It's always learning what's happening right now.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. In a world where culture, trends, and our tastes seem to be changing faster than ever before, is this kind of real-time adaptive learning just an advantage, or is it going to become the only way for our technology to keep up with us at all?